Hello again and welcome to our Web Accessibility training series. Today we're going to be covering one of the 4 important areas of web accessibility. We're talking all about images. The most important thing to remember when it comes to making images accessible is alt tags. If you're not sure what alt tags are, I'll show you an example right now. Alt tag stands for alternative text, and it's needed by those who have visual impairments. Alt tags are essentially a bit of text that's associated with an image and that gets picked up by a visually impaired person's screen reading tool. That way, if they can't make out what's being displayed in an image, their screen reader can read out a description. For example, when a screen reader recognizes the text that is associated with this image, the person using the screen reader will be told that they are seeing 2 puppies asleep in a doggy dish. Now let's try adding an alt tag for ourselves. I'll go ahead and add a regular image block. How you add your alt tag can depend on where you choose to source your image from. Let's start out by uploading a photo from within our own computer. Once the image appears on the page, I can use the right-hand settings toolbar to add an alt tag to my image. Now, let's try adding an image from the media library. As you can see, when we choose this option to source our image, we can actually add an alt tag from within the image selecting tool, right here. But after we've added it to the page, we still have an option to add an alt tag from the right-hand settings toolbar. So the important takeaway is, whether you're adding an image through your own uploads or from your media library, you will always have the option here in the right-hand settings toolbar to edit your image and add an alt tag. What you write in an alt tag depends a lot on the image, but overall it should be short and it should convey a description of the essential information presented by the image. Take for example this image of a dog. Now consider what information someone should know about this image. For example, is it important that this person know the dog is a golden retriever? If yes, then include that in the alt tag. If this image was purely decorative, as in not meant to convey information, then I shouldn't bother including an alt tag. Typically, images should not include text unless they are a logo. But if you're going to include an image with text, like this one, then the alt tag should contain the same words as the image. As you can see, we've included the same words used in this image in the alt tag. If your image is a graph or a diagram, then you have to provide a full description in the alt text so that the person using the screen reader can have an idea of what's being presented in the graph. You can also provide a full description in a text block below, or caption it. A lot of the time people would rather read a description than try to figure out a graph or a chart anyway. One final thing that we'll mention when it comes to alt tags is that actionable images should always describe an action. Take for example this Twitter icon. When it's clicked, it takes you to the web service's Twitter profile. So, since this image requires an action, it needs to be clicked, it's not enough just to describe the image and say, blue Twitter icon against a white background. We have to say, Twitter icon, which when clicked, takes you to web service's Twitter account. That's all for creating accessible images on your site. Sticking to these guidelines will help you make sure you're using accessible images on your websites. Be sure to check out our other videos in our accessibility series, and thanks so much for watching.